Hello there, Big Benedict here. We're playing God of War Ascension on Titan difficulty, and this is my no upgrade run plus. We're currently on chapter 7 of 30. It is entitled The Tower of Delphi. So the Ice Chimera has three forms, and the first form is the snake form. The Poseidon's Fury with the ice blades has the ability to stagger and I don't know if stun lock is the correct word, but it will stagger this boss every phase of him. So if you want to use that move, I'm just showing you that it embarrasses this boss if you want to use it. So I will do that. I will fire dump. Oh, I'm glad he did that move, because did you see that move where he held his hand over his face and then he the snake spit something at us? That is a very rare move that he does, so I'm glad I was able to capture in this fight. I was happy with this fight, it really was. But for the first phase, well, as I mentioned, just 4 squares, and then when you have built up your rage meter, you want to fire dump so that you can resume doing the 4 squares. Because when you have the rage all the way up with the ice blades, it does the 8 square, so you can't do the 4 one. So for phase 2, you can also, like I said, stagger him with that move, but you can't do it as easily as the first phase. So this phase is the lion phase, and the second hit of his 2-hit melee attack right there, you can perfect block against. There's a smaller window where if you hit it, you will not get staggered, because ordinarily if you just let that attack hit you, it will not deal you damage, but it will stagger you. So if you want to do that, I will show you also that there's one move he does in phase 3 that you can perfect block. But what I'd like to do though is when he's doing his ice plume, I will ice breath. I'll rev up a super plume for him, and then I'll follow that up with TST, or you can also do square square triangle, and that's a good helping of damage for him. So phase 3 is the goat phase. And do you see the head ram attack? I think there's one time where I missed it, but I didn't get damaged because I still was blocking. I think it already passed, but the head ram that he does, if you just stand there and block, you will get staggered. Kratos will grunt. So I'm just there it was. I think I was a little bit too far away from him right there, but honestly, if I was just not playing for the walkthrough, I would probably not try to do the perfect block, because if you miss, there's a chance that you can get damaged. You're not guaranteed to get damaged, but there's a possibility that you can get damaged. But that is, I'll do a perfect block. I'm just showing you what's in this game. Thought I was gonna get hit, didn't you? I was waiting to throw that sword. It did him chip damage, but how do I know? It's because it just doesn't deal with that much damage. But I'll perfect block the head ram. And maybe so, even if I was not recording for the walkthrough, I probably, so I wouldn't get staggered, I'll perfect block, and then I'll follow it up with a punish. I'm really uncomfortable doing the 4 square attack because of the recovery time at the end of it, but I'll just do square triangle for the punish until he's finished. You can also super plume him very safely, but you of course have to have your rage built up. So that's the boss, and the reason I toss my sword is because there's going to be the shield coming up, and that by far is better. But I think that's all I was going to talk about on that boss fight. There wasn't enough time to talk about it, so when I was recording the fight, I purposely prolonged the fight so that I would have a little bit more time to talk about that fight. But that's the only time you see that enemy in this game, and it's a sort of a mini boss. I don't know if it's technically a boss, but this is a very brief chapter. We just have one more encounter to do, and the see that the you might think that the perfect block is kind of silly to do, because even if you stand there and block, take your stagger, you still don't get any damage dealt to you. And what I also wanted to say about that boss is that, and everything pretty much, is that any move that can stagger you, like heavy enemies, bosses stagger you, have the ability to stagger you. Nothing that any enemy follows up. See, once you get staggered, there's no move or anything that you're in danger of getting hit by afterwards, because you always have enough time to recover. So I know it seems a little silly, but I actually discovered that on a recent playthrough. I didn't even know that that was in the game, and then I mentioned it to Big V and I asked him if he knew about it, and I might as well have been telling him, do you know what 1 + 1 is? I might have told him, hey Big V, I found out that 1 + 1 = 2. The manticores here can be ringed out or wrung out. I'm not sure what the right way to say that is, but there's three manticore babes, I should say, and they're in the eggs that you saw, or the pods that you saw them come out in. And let me think, one more thing that I was going to mention. When you have this doesn't relate to the shield plume, but when you have your rage meter full, if you need to preserve it outside of combat, if you continually roll and press the square button, which will do, the quick roll or the combat roll, that will keep your rage meter active at the top, at the fullest. So that is where that terminology came from. I actually did the name for that, and it's stuck ever since. And I think it was a good name, don't you? At least I think so. I will see you in the next video. Please take care.